Hey everyone, I'm Ben, and today our group will be presenting our recommendations based on the Bhopal gas tragedy, one of the worst industrial disasters in history. This tragedy occurred in December 1984 when a leak of middle isocyanate gas from the Union Carbide India Limited (UCIL) plant killed over 3,000 people instantly and left hundreds of thousands suffering long-term health effects. What's important to understand is that this wasn't just an unfortunate accident. The disaster was caused by technological neglect, outdated equipment, poor maintenance, and a complete lack of enforcement. Our first recommendation focuses on the technological environment. We believe that safety systems must not only be installed, they must be properly maintained, regularly tested, and strictly enforced. This responsibility should be shared between internal management and external policymakers to ensure full accountability. The key objective here is to make sure that safety systems are always active and functioning as intended. It is not enough to simply have the equipment. It must be operational, routinely checked, and backed by clear enforcement procedures. If Bhopal's safety system had been in working condition, the leak could have been detected early and a disaster avoided. This recommendation aims to prevent that kind of failure from ever happening again. We've identified 3 key tasks to carry this out. First, upgrading safety systems. UCIL must use higher quality materials for critical equipment like gas tanks and install modern reliable systems that meet global standards. Second, setting up maintenance schedules and logs. Monthly diagnostics should be conducted and all results should be digitally logged for transparency and accountability. Third, establishing emergency response plans. These plans must be clear, regularly practiced, and understood by all employees, not just managers. Now, who's responsible? For upgrades, policymakers set the standards, but it's UCIL's engineering team that gets it done. For maintenance, system safety teams and IT must carry out testing based on standards from regulators. For emergency response, management should ensure both internal teams and local emergency services are trained and ready. That wraps up our first recommendation. I'll now hand it over to Adam.
Hey everyone, I'm Adam and I'll continue from the task completion. It should be noted that all these tasks should be complete before resuming operations. Upgrading systems should begin immediately and should be complete within 3 months. These upgrades will take place in UCIL and specifically the gas scrubbers, refrigeration units and storage tanks. Maintenance tests, schedules and logs should begin immediately and should be complete within 3 months before the new systems upgraded in order to test their functionality before operation. These upgrades will take place in UCIL for the same systems. Emergency responses should begin immediately and should also be complete before new systems are operational. What are some of the costs associated with these tasks? Capital equipment costs will increase as more and higher quality materials are required to meet the new industry standards. Operational costs will increase as the need for regular tests and maintenance is required to uphold standards. Training costs will increase as employees must be educated on using new systems as well as complying by the new safety and emergency guidelines. Along with costs, I'll also discuss the potential problems that our recommendation may cause. Budget constraints in the form of increased operational and investment costs due to system maintenance and testing, system upgrades, and training employees. This may lead to management trying to cut costs, which may deteriorate the quality of systems and employees. Skill and labor gaps may arise, where there may be a lack of technical expertise to conduct maintenance and tests due to low socioeconomic levels. Furthermore, this shortage of skilled workers will lead to overworked employees who may rush and make detrimental mistakes. Decreased production efficiency could be seen through increased maintenance or testing that will increase system downtimes. This will lead to increased pressure for workers to rush these tests or maintenances, which may lead to mistakes or more long-term decreased production efficiency. I'll now hand over to Michael for our second recommendation.
Hey everyone, I'm Michael, and I will begin discussing our second recommendation, which addressed the legal political environment. The government must reinforce industry safety and more tightly regulate complaint of management to ensure accountability for quicker corrective action to take place. This recommendation hopes to achieve complaint by industry plant that abide by safety regulation to help avoid disaster before irreversible damage is done. The three main tasks to be carried out for this recommendation are safety complaint policy. The government will set out new regulation to make industry safety standard compulsory. Furthermore, regular inspection will take place to inspect any safety concern. Secondly, setting up a safety regulatory body. A regulatory body is an external body with the authority to evaluate complaints of industry safety standard. Their role is to investigate, regular, and/or seriously punish any conflict in policy. Lastly, employees training. Government bodies must ensure all staff are formally trained and certified to handle hazardous, chemical, and dangerous life-threatening situations. Who will carry out this task? For safety complaint policy, policymakers will set industry complaint guideline, and it is up to UCIL safety officer to ensure that all staff and teams carry this task out. For the safety regulatory body, policymaker will set up, inspect, find out, and potentially punish management for non-compliance, and/or the company as a whole with fines and other penalties. For employees training, external and internal safety trainers must ensure training is implemented for all employees and staff. And I will pass over the presentation to Alan now.
Hey everyone, I'm Alan, and I'll continue from task completion. First, I'll reinstate that these tasks should be completed before resuming operations. Safety compliance policy should begin immediately and should be complete within 3 months. Policies should be developed in government policymakers' facilities. The safety regulatory body should begin setting up immediately and should be complete within 3 months. But after the safety compliance policies are made in order to have ready criteria and to begin evaluating, employee training should begin once safety policies are outlined and the regulatory body is operational and in place. And proper formal training should take 3 to 6 months to complete. What are some of the costs associated with these tasks? Regulation costs will increase government expenditure, where new policies and conduction of external industrial inspections cost money. Training costs will increase as costs for UCIL and the government. This is due to the added expenditure on providing safety material, teachers, and inspectors. Liability costs will strip money and resources from UCIL if they're non-compliant. Cost of legal defense, fines, compensation, and insurance increases are all resulting costs to the company. The potential problem that our recommendation may cause include resistance from industry. UCIL may resist this recommendation as this will increase operational costs, where more policies to follow may lead to inefficiency or more necessary paid work and more expenses, as well as decreased production efficiency due to increased maintenance and downtimes. Skilled labor gaps, shortage of qualified safety inspectors may delay regulation implementation as less labor. Also the shortage of qualified safety trainers for employees will delay the training of workers. Both these reasons decrease efficiency as less work can be completed within the same period of time. Corruption and poor enforcement. This may be an issue. Corruption and poor enforcement may be an issue where local authorities may be subject to bribery due to general lower socioeconomic status, leading to false compliance reports, which would minimize testing integrity and, in the worst case scenario, a repeat to the Bhopal gas tragedy. Thank you for watching, and that was our recommendations reflecting on the Bhopal gas tragedy. Bye-bye.